Okay, friends, let's start discussing today's session. So, this would be a final session for the chapter electromagnetic induction. So, we have studied in Faraday's law that whenever there is change in magnetic flux linked with the coil, electromotive force is generated in it or induced in it. So, basically, when we talk about Faraday's law, simultaneously we have to talk about Lenz's law also. The direction of this induced EMF will be in such a way that it will oppose its own cause. Now a big question about the direction of this induced EMF. So it's given by the right hand rule, Fleming's left right hand rule. Now what this right hand rule says, basically, if thumb, forefinger and the middle finger of the yeah. So the thumb will represent the direction of the motion of the conductor. The forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field, and the middle finger will represent the induced current. Now, further, if we take the discussion further, friends, this rectangular coil having n number of turns, basically, we are trying to place it or we are trying to move it through the magnetic field. Alright, and now the dot indicates that the magnetic field is directed perpendicular to the plane of the paper outwards. Then, obviously, because of the change in the magnetic flux linked with this particular rectangular coil, there would be EMF generated. And as per Faraday's law, that EMF would be minus n d phi by dt or delta phi by delta t. Why minus sign? Because the direction of the EMF will be such that it will oppose its own cause. That means Lenz's law is applicable. Now here in this equation you can see n, capital N represents number of turns. Phi is the magnetic flux. Okay, so magnetic flux will be placed as B into A, where B is external magnetic field and A is the area of the coil. This is the discussion which we are going to extend further to solve basic problems on this particular concept. The direction of this EMF will be given by, obviously we have just now said that Fleming's rule will help us depict the direction basically. So both these rules can be applied over here. So left hand as well as right hand, specifically right hand so far as electromagnetic induction is concerned. So here also you can see there is a rectangular coil which is being moved with velocity v inside this magnetic field. Now earlier the magnetic field was perpendicular outwards. Here the magnetic field is perpendicular inwards. Now what we are supposed to do in this case, let's say L be the length of this rectangular or square you can see coil, and let V be the velocity with which it is pulled. So we are supposed to graph the force needed to move the loop at a constant speed. So obviously we will plot it in this manner. You can see the different plots are at minus 2L, L correspondingly then 0, L and 2L. So we are moving it from minus 2L to L. Now minus L in a way. Okay. So that means whenever I am moving it from minus 2L to L, obviously there will be some EMF generated and I will be plotting that graph. Second thing, we are supposed to think about motional EMF. Okay, the EMF which is being generated because of this motion and change in the flux in the loop. So whenever the coil moves in the magnetic field, you can say the change in the flux will be phi equal to B into A. Now this area is the area swept. Now what area is swept? Say for example, x is that distance covered in the magnetic field, and the area swept will be L into x in this case. So A can be then represented as L into x. So the same equation for phi then becomes B into L into x. Now if I differentiate phi with respect to t, so d phi by dt will be then given as BL, and the variable is x, so it will be delta x by delta t. Now this delta x by delta t, friends, is nothing but the velocity with which the rectangular coil is moving in this magnetic field. So I can replace it, as induced EMF equal to BL, and instead of d delta x by delta t, I will replace it by V. So I get the equation for the induced EMF or the motional EMF as BLV. From d phi by dt, I get this equation as BLV, where B stands for the magnetic induction in which the coil is moving, L stands for the length of that coil, and V stands for the velocity with which the coil is moving. And so far as the plot of force is concerned, from minus 2L to minus L, if I am moving it, basically we can plot the force over here. So because it's moving with a constant velocity, there is no acceleration, and therefore force can be considered as zero in this case. Yeah. So these are the problems based on motion of conductor across magnetic field. The first one out of it. A meter gauge train. Now, when I'm saying meter gauge train, that means the distance between the two tracks. Okay, the gauge is 1 meter. Okay, therefore a meter gauge train is running due north with a constant speed of 20 meter per second on a horizontal track. If the vertical component of Earth's magnetic induction is 3 into 10 raised to minus 4 Weber per meter square, then calculate the EMF induced across the axle. So let's talk about the given thing. This train is moving with the speed 20 meter per second. Obviously, the component which is effective over here, Earth's magnetic component, vertical component, is 3 into 10 raised to minus 4 Weber per meter square or Tesla. Or the length between the two length of the axle will be equal to gauge of the train. Now it's a meter gauge, so obviously the length will be 1 meter. So here you just put L as 1 meter. Now you know B, you know L, you know V. Okay, so can we estimate EMF? Just now we have studied the concept. Okay, so the concept says E will be equal to BLV. We know the value of B, we know the value of V. Length between the two tracks is 1 meter. That means the length of the axle is 1 meter. So just put the values. Okay. Hopefully, you have noted this down. So just put the values for BLV and you get the equation. You get the value for the EMF induced across the axle. The value of that is, you can see, it comes out to be 6 into 10 raised to minus 3, that is 6 millivolt. So you can say the EMF induced across the axle is 6 millivolt. Please make a note of it. Okay, let's move ahead towards the next type of question. Again, it's related to a train which runs parallel to the magnetic meridian with a velocity of 30 kmph, that is kilometer per hour. The length of the axle, they say, is 1 meter. The horizontal component of Earth's magnetic induction is 0.36 into 10 raised to minus 4 Weber per meter square. And angle of dip at that place is 30 degrees. Expect the magnitude of EMF generated between the ends of the axle. So here the concept of angle of dip will also come into picture. Okay, the procedure is moreover or less same. So velocity given to you as 30 kmph, you convert it into meter per second. So this is the factor which you're going to use. So length is 1 meter. Horizontal component is given to you 0.36 to 10 raised to minus 4. Angle of dip is given to you 30 degrees. You're supposed to find out EMF. Please make a note of it before we move towards the discussion of the solution. Okay, now here the formula which we would be using, obviously, how we get vertical component. So BH tan theta. Okay, it's not tan Q, it's tan theta. Theta is given to you, angle of dip is 30 degrees. And EMF will be estimated as BLV. Okay, so where B stands for the magnetic induction, L is the length of the axle, which is 1 meter in this case, and velocity is given to you. Okay. First, let's find out vertical component in this fashion. You get the value of vertical component as, okay, 0.36 into 10 raised to minus 4 into 1 by 1.732. EMF will be BLV. So just substitute these values. Yeah. you are putting all these values and then you try to estimate the EMF generated. So that EMF will come out to be, before I show you the value, make a note of this slide. Okay, so when you substitute these values, ultimately you end up getting the EMF equal to, you can see, comes out to be 1.732 into 10 raised to minus 4 volts. Okay, so the EMF generated between the ends of the axis is 1.732 into 10 raised to minus 4 volt. Please make a note of it. Okay, let's move ahead towards the next question then. So here in this question, you can see there is a horizontal wire of linear density 0.25 into 10 raised to minus 5 kg per meter, and it has a mass of say 0.4 kg. All right. So it falls freely under the gravity. Its original position being perpendicular to the magnetic meridian. That means it's going to cut the Earth's magnetic lines of forces. So this is a conductor which is again moving in the magnetic field. So if BH, that is the horizontal component of Earth's magnetic induction, is 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 5 Weber per meter square, find the magnitude and the direction of the induced EMF, you know, in it when its instantaneous velocity is 3 into 10, 3 meter per second. So velocity is also given to you. All right. Now from the linear mass density and mass, you can estimate the length. You know the magnetic induction, you know the velocity. So we are supposed to find out the EMF generated in this case. Okay. So mass per unit length, and from mass you can estimate the length basically. BH is given to you. Velocity is 3 meter per second. So EMF, we know the formula. Here the linear mass density can be represented as mass per unit length. So from this you can estimate, here it should be length. Okay. You can estimate length from this. You know linear mass density, you know mass. You can estimate length. Okay. That length has to be substituted here. Then we get the EMF induced. Please make a note of this before I show you the solution. Okay, hopefully you have noted this down. Yeah. So here, first we are finding out the length. Okay, it's not E, it's length. Okay, make that correction first of all. Then EMF. This is small e. Then this is BLV. Okay. Here, friends, this notation is small l. That L we will be substituting it over here. Okay. Then BLV gives us the value 12 volt. Okay. So magnitude of induced EMF is 12 volt. Please make a note of it. And obviously the direction will be as per Lenz's law. It will oppose its own cause. Okay, hopefully you have noted this down, friends. Let's move ahead towards the next question. Again, you come across the similar type of questions. You can see here is a telegraph wire 10-meter long. Here the length is directly given and it falls to the ground from a height of 10 meter. Find the EMF induced in the wire when it strikes the ground. BH and G, they are given to you. So length given to you, the displacement is given to you as 10 meter. It falls from a height of 10 meter. BH and G given to you. You're supposed to find out EMF. So first of all, you will make use of kinematical equation of motion. V square is equal to U square plus 2GS. This will give you the velocity of the wire before it strikes the ground. So once you know velocity, once you know length, once you know BH, can we estimate EMF with the help of the formula E equal to BLV? So this is the procedure which we want to follow. So before we discuss the solution, please make a note of this. Okay, I believe you have noted this down. So let's put the values from kinematical equation. You can see we can get the value of the velocity before it strikes. We know initial velocity was 0, acceleration due to gravity is 9.8, and the height through which it is falling is 10 meter. So we get v square as 196. So finally v, so it's not v square, it will be v. Taking the square root on both the sides will be 14 meter per second. Put the value in the equation E equal to BLV, and you get the EMF induced as 3.5 millivolt. Please make a note of it. Okay, I believe you have noted this down. So let's try a few more questions like this. Here you can see the question is being twisted a bit. Okay, so here they talk about a metal rod of length 1 meter, and it's rotated about one of its ends, okay, in a plane at a right angles to uniform magnetic field of induction, say 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 4 Tesla, minus 3 Tesla, sorry, or Weber per meter square, one and the same. If it makes 1800 revolutions per minute, so you have to convert this into revolutions per second first of all. You are supposed to calculate the induced EMF between the ends of the rod. So here the velocity is in terms of angular velocity. Right? So the length is given 1 meter, b given to you 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 3, and you can see dn by dt is the frequency is 1800 revolutions per minute. Okay, you convert it into seconds, so 180 divided by 60. So you make the correction over here. Okay, so it's not 1800, it is 180 then. So dn by dt, you get it as 30 revolutions per second. So please make that correction over here. Instead of 1800, it should be only 180. All right. So this is the revolutions per minute in second, and we are supposed to find out EMF. The formula is obviously d phi by dt. Okay, this is the formula which we have always used. So phi is nothing but NAB cos theta. Okay, so phi, the value of phi is NAB cos theta. We'll put it over here. So before I show you the solution or we discuss the solution, please make a note of it. So here the only correction is, instead of 1800, you put it as 180. Second important thing over here. Phi is NAB cos theta. All right. Hopefully you have noted this down. Now let's try to put this value of phi over here. Okay. So let's see. So E then in that case given as d phi by dt, so it will be d by dt of NAB cos theta. I'm just substituting the value of phi. So NAB, number of turns, okay. Area and magnetic induction being constant, they will come out and it will be dN by dt into cos theta. Cos theta is 1 over here in this case. Theta is 0, so cos 0 will be 1. So we know the area, we know the magnetic induction basically, dN by dt. So substitute it. How you find out the area? Because it's a rod moving in circles. Obviously, the area sort will be pi r square, or you put it as pi l square because L is the radius in that case. Magnetic induction given to you, okay, 2.5 into 10 raised to minus 3. And dN by dt, just now we have estimated it as 30. So put all these values and then you substitute it and you ultimately get this answer as you can see. So this gives us the value for EMF as 2.356 into 10 raised to minus 1 volt. So let's proceed further. the final question for this concept. You can see they're talking about a copper disc of radius 20 centimeter making 1200 revolutions per minute about its axis, which is parallel to a magnetic field of induction 100 Gauss. Find the EMF induced in volts between the center and the edge of the disc. Okay, explaining the method of calculation. So again, interesting question. So the radius they say 20 centimeter converted into meter. dN by dt here will be 1200 divided by 60. Okay, so the frequency comes out to be 20 revolution per second. Magnetic induction is 100 Gauss, so you convert it into Weber per meter square by multiplying it by 10 raised to minus 4. This is the factor which you should be using to convert it into Tesla or Weber per meter square. And then finally we need the value of E. So we have the formula for E. The basic formula is d phi by dt. But phi we know it is NAB cos theta. If n is 1, it will be AB cos theta. Please make a note of it before we finally discuss the solution for this particular problem. Hopefully you have noted this down. I'll put the value of phi here. You can see this value of phi would be substituted in this place, and then we'll try to work out the situation. Okay, so phi is AB in this case because cos theta is 1, theta is 0. So E then can be represented as d phi by dt, or you can just put it as d by dt of AB. Okay, you just make that correction, d by dt of AB instead of phi. Okay, so instead d by dt of AB then can be further written as dA by dt. Okay, B you take it out, it's constant, it's not changing. So what is changing is the area swept. So dA by dt, so the rate at which the area is swept. So area you put it as pi r square by t. 1 by t is known to us. Okay, frequency 1 by t is the frequency. You know magnetic induction, you know r. So you can substitute all these values and get the answer for E. Make a note of it. Here the only correction would be, friends, instead of d phi it's mentioned over here 2 times. Okay, instead of that it should be d by dt of AB. The second step also it should be d by dt of AB. So it's a typological error. Make that correction. Important thing is to derive this particular format. Okay, where you can easily now substitute the value of B given to you. You know the radius, you can work out area. 1 by t is frequency. Let's move ahead. So 1 by t is frequency. So ultimately that formula will be then given as B into pi r square into F, where F stands for frequency. So we know the value for B, 10 raised to minus 2. The value for frequency is 20. Radius is given to you. So when you substitute all these values, you ultimately get the EMF induced between the center and the edge of the disc as 2.5136 into 10 raised to minus 2 volt.